Okay, today we are solving multi-step equations. That's just equations with variables on both sides of the equal sign. So there are variables on both sides of the equal sign. The very first step is to simplify both sides of the equation. We'll call this example 1. Split the line down the equal sign to have a left and a right side. On the left side, 3x and plus 9 cannot combine. On the right side, x and minus 21 cannot combine. So step 1 is actually already done for us here. Step 2 is to move the variable to one side of the equation. To do that, you're going to use adding or minusing. This is the new step for us today. So I've got 3x plus 9 equals x minus 21. I have variables on both the left and the right side. We want variables on just one side. Remember, the invisible number in front of x is 1. I'm going to move this 1x over to the left side. So to do that, the opposite of a plus 1x is to minus 1x. Or I can just write minus x. On the left side, 3x minus x is 2x. We still have the plus 9. And on the right side, 1x and its exact thing but negative. Those are opposites, so they make a 0 pair, and we're left with just negative 21. After that, the third step is to move the constants to the other side, or the side without variables. We're still using adding or minusing in this step. And this is something that we did when we solved two-step equations and one-step equations. This is the side, the left side has my variable. This is the side with the variable. Eventually we're getting this by itself, so we need to get rid of this constant, plus 9. To undo plus 9, we minus 9. That makes a 0 pair on the left, and we still have our 2x. On the right, negative 21 minus 9 is negative 30. The last step is to isolate the variable. Remember, isolate means to get it by itself, to get rid of the coefficient. Here's the variable, x. That means I need to get rid of the 2, so x can be by itself. 2 and x have nothing between them, so that's multiplication. And to undo multiplication, we divide. So we'll divide by 2. That makes 1x on the left side, and negative 30 divided by 2 is negative 15. The last step is to check ourselves. Yes, you still have to check yourselves. Today you will be asked for check numbers. Just check number for a single one. In class people and myself on this video, we're going to use dry erase boards and dry erase markers to check ourselves because there's not a whole lot of room on this page. So I have my whiteboard, and I'm rewriting the equation 3x plus 9 equals x minus 21. And we think x is negative 15. Okay. So instead of x, we're writing negative 15. Now this is different than before because we have variables on both sides, so we actually have to solve two sides now. On the left side, you have to multiply before you can add. 3 times negative 15 is negative 45 plus 9. I'm going to continue solving on this side. Negative 45 plus 9 is negative 36. On the left side, we just have a negative number minus 21. We have negative 15 minus 21. So we don't have to worry about our order of operations there. And that is also negative 36. Because those two things are equal, our answer was correct. And the check number is negative 36. I'm probably going to pause the video and ask if there were any questions specifically about this very first step that I wrote in purple pen, because this very first step, moving the variable, is new to us today. Okay, the second example, we'll look at the box to the right of that. It says 15x plus 8 equals 11x minus 22. And first we'll draw that line down the equal sign. Remember, the first step is really to simplify both sides of the equation. On the left, I have 15x and 8. On the right, I have 11x and negative 22. Since I cannot combine 15x and 8, and I cannot combine 11x and minus 22, then that step is already done for us. Now, I'm going to move variables. We can move the 15x or the 11x. I'm going to move the 15x. There is no sign in front of 15x, so I assume that it's a plus, a positive. To undo a positive 15x, we're going to minus 15x from both sides of the equation. Now I've got 15x minus 15x, that's a 0 pair. A number and its negative is a 0 pair. We have just 8 left over on that side. 11x minus 15x is negative 4x minus 22 is still left over also on the right side. After we've moved the variable, now we have to move the constants to the side without the variables. My variables now live on the right side, which means I need to move any constants on the right side over to the left side. The constants on the right side are minus 22, so I have to move minus 22 over to the right side. The opposite of minus 22 is to add 22. On the left side, 8 plus 22 is 30. On the right side, the 22's make a 0 pair, and we have negative 4x. The last step in solving is to isolate the variable. The variable is x, which means we have to get rid of minus 4. Remember, minus 4 is a coefficient, which means we are either multiplying or dividing. Right now we're multiplying, and the opposite of multiplying by negative 4 is to divide by negative 4. That makes 1x on the right. 30 divided by negative 4, please remember you can use your calculators, is negative 7.5. We're almost done. We still have to check ourselves. We still need to find a check number. I'm going to rewrite the equation. 15, instead of x, we get to write negative 7.5 plus 8 equals 11 times negative 7.5 instead of the x minus 22. Okay, you have to multiply before you can add, and 15 times negative 7.5 is negative 112.5. We still have a plus 8. When we do these things, negative 112.5 plus 8, we get negative 104.5. On the right side, remember you have to multiply before you can subtract. Multiplying here, we get negative 82.5 minus 22. And That is negative 104.5, which means we were correct, and the check number is negative 104.5. Check number was negative 104.5. I want you guys to try this on your own. Before I ask you to do that, I am going to remind you that this minus x is really minus 1x. And so I'll pause the video, and in about 5 seconds, I will show you guys the answer. Okay, and now I want you guys to, or we'll check this one together. So rewrite the equation, negative 93 minus x. Instead of x though, instead of x we can write 22. And then get rid of this. That equals 83 minus 9, and instead of multiplying by x, we'll multiply by 22. Okay. Split that down. On the left side, negative 93 minus 22 is negative 115. On the right side, before you can do the subtraction, you have to do the multiplication. And 9 times 22, some people are saying negative 9 times 22 would be negative 198. And we still have the 83 in front of that. Okay. And 83 minus 198 is negative 115. And negative 115 does equal negative 115. I brought that down so I'd have my equation on the same line. I brought this down. This is true, which means we were correct, and the check number then is negative 115. Okay. On this problem, I'm going to solve it and ask you guys to do the checking on your own. Line down the equal sign. It does not matter which variable you choose to move, 9x or 2x. I guess we should check simplifying first. You cannot combine 114 and 9x, so the left side is simplified. You cannot combine 33 and 2x, so the right side is also simplified. It doesn't matter if you choose to move 9x or 2x, so some people's first step might actually look a little different. In the end, you'll still get the same answer. I prefer to move the smallest amount of variables, so I'm going to move 2x. And I do that because then you'll always have a positive coefficient, and you don't have to worry about negatives. On the left side, 9x minus 2x leaves us with 7x, and we still have that minus 114. 7x was positive, so the sign between those is a plus. And then I've got 33 because that can't combine with x's. And then 2x and minus 2x is a 0 pair, and we don't have to write plus 0. So I'm not going to do that. Now I find where my variable is. I need to get rid of the constant that's on that side. The constant on the left side, where my variable is negative 114. So we're going to get rid of negative 114. To get rid of negative 114, we add 114. Okay. On the left side, we get a 0 pair, and we're left with 7x. On the right side, 33 plus 114 is 147. The last step is to isolate the variable. So to get rid of the 7 in 7x, we divide by 7. That leaves us with 1x on the left and 21 on the right. Now you guys can check your answer, and in about 5 seconds I will give you guys that answer. It's 57. Oop, the check number is 57. Now, before we leave today, you guys are going to try this one completely on your own. Zoom students, please message me your answers. Awesome.